All right, welcome back everybody for another build. Couple things I want to go over real quick. Let me grab the camera. All right, I'm gonna give you an update on the fireball here. I made the steel jaws. I made the mounts for the bottom. Let me show you what they look like. They're just a couple big T slot, T mounts, whatever you want to call them there. Works great. I got to use the vise actually yesterday for the first time. I had to do something small. I had to drill a washer up, but still I got to use it. Really nice clamping force, I'll tell you. A little update on the rust from the muriatic acid. So I got most of the stuff cleaned up. You guys have seen that one, but we got it all cleaned up. I got my mill all cleaned up. I used it for making that stuff for the vise, so it's a little dirty right now, but I had it all nice and cleaned up. It was all clean. I had it all spiffy. But I'll re-wipe it, re-clean it. Yeah, I got to clean up all my shavings off the ground still. But I wanted to get this video going on this next build. The table's ready. It's all cleaned up, rust-free. All the rails are nice and clean. I found out what the problem was when we cut out that ring on the chair build, the foot ring. This part here was sticking due to the rails, those up and down rails right there. They already had a little bit of surface rust on them. And there's 4 rollers behind that head, and they roll up and down on them 2 rods there. And when it was coming to the bottom, it would stick. And then as it got going around that circle, you know, that ring, it probably broke loose in the back there and started going again. So got all that straightened out, cleaned up, oiled. It's ready to roll. We're getting ready to use it. So I got my first piece of steel loaded on the handy dandy forklift that always helps us with no brakes. No brakes! What? I definitely got to get some brakes on that, guys. We'll probably make a video on it one day. I think I have a jack big enough to raise the back up and pull the wheels off, and I think it's just something's leaking back there because there's fluid in it. When you hit the brake hard enough, it comes out. So there's air in the brakes now. But because I used to have great brakes, and then all of a sudden one day it just went poof and the fluid was on the ground, and I added fluid to it and now it just leaks. But anyways, we'll get it one day. We got this loaded. I'm gonna reset the camera over on my computer real quick, and I'm gonna show you what the next build is. Give me a few. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring you over here to the computer and show you on Fusion 360 what we're building. Come on over here. Okay, so here it is. It's a 48-inch bead roller, and it's going to be powered, power unit. In between the rollers and the back of the throat here, it's 36 inches, I believe. A true 36-inch depth. Let's see what it is without the rollers. Without the rollers, it's, 32.5, and then those stick out about another 4 inches here. So it's about 36 inches throat clearance. So anyways, what I done was, let me kind of show you real quick. I went to japhandscustoms.com. That's Make It Custom is the name of the channel on YouTube. But if you go to his page, Jap Hands Customs, and go to the downloads, right here is all you can download these for free. So what you do is you'll download them, and it comes in a DWG file, and you'll have to convert it into a DXF file. So what you do is you convert it to the DXF file, and then you can bring it in here, and it's all to spec. You don't have to change anything. What I've done was just put it together in here. So the inner strips are in, one of the brackets here. This is kind of all that comes with it. He's got more on there. These are the caster plates if you want to use them. This thing here is for the arm, for the top, that's going to roll up here for the pressure on the wheels. And then this is the mount. This gets broke. There's a brake that goes here and a brake that goes here, and it bolts to these screws here. And then that'll weld to our stand. We're going to make a little stand too that rolls around. And we're going to make little areas on it where the dies and stuff can mount to it and all that. So, and I'm going to make probably all my dies too. I've never done it before, but I'm going to try to make a couple, see how they turn out. You can catch some on sale, like a pack of them, like 4 or 5. Mittler Brothers, they have it on their site. Eastwood sometimes has some that are fairly inexpensive, and so on. But everything is ready. We're going to go ahead and go back to the computer where the our plasma table is, and we're going to start cutting these our main plates first. We'll load that sheet off of the forklift and we'll get busy on it. So give me a couple minutes and I'll see you guys over at the table. Real quick, you guys, I want to show you. So this is the stand. Once again, my neighbor was throwing it away. It was in his junk pile that he takes to, for his scrap pile. So I said, I'll take it. It's been sitting for a while. I've been gathering this stuff for probably since early summer, late spring, early summer is when I started gathering all this. Anyways, there's our stand. We're going to redo it, just use what we need from it. I have an extra piece of 2-inch tubing over there underneath the weld table and the Crossfire Pro, and we'll make what we got to make. And I think I have 3 or 4 wheels left that I bought for the chair build, because you had to buy 2 boxes to get, they only come in 4s, and yeah, I got 3 wheels left. So we'll probably do 2 in the back, 1 in the front. Most the ones you see are 3 wheels only, and then we'll brace it up nice and make it all good, and we'll get it right. So that's that. Hang on a second. Okay, now if you are interested in doing something like this build, all the components came from McMaster Car, and when you go to that Japan's Customs to download those files, he's got a list. He actually made a video too of building one of these, and he's got a description there of all the parts you need to order. But you'll see it in the build. These are the gears for the back, and these are some screws that are going to be needed. In here is what we're going to power it with. Now he don't have none of this on there because he doesn't make his with this. He bought a ready to bolt on motor and everything set up with the pedal and all from Eastwood, and sometimes they'll have them on sale. So if you're wanting to go that route and not build your own thing, then you can go that route. But this here is some stuff that I'm putting together in my head. I'll take you through this whole thing. This is a nice cheap way to go about it. It's cheaper than buying that unit from over there. There's our foot pedal. And just some more components. These are converters, things we'll need to convert to DC voltage. And then we have a cheap, if I remember, I'll put it in the description there. This is a cheap Amazon winch. All this is from Amazon. And I don't have nothing to cut this with. Let's see if I can break through it. Okay, it's just a cheap little 2,500 pound capacity ATV winch, and we're not going to use most of it. All we really want from this thing is going to be our comes with everything now, no cables, no, but just the motor part itself. And maybe we'll work this plate in, some of these bolts and nuts. We definitely ain't going to use these rollers on this, but I'll keep these. These are good rollers for maybe something we can use in the future. You know what I mean? Those are good rollers. We'll incorporate that in some other build. So anyways, that's all you need right here to make that motorized. So okay, I'm gonna get back over to the table there, and we'll get this stuff cutting. Give me a few minutes. The fun part. Try to get it. Oh God, this thing is heavy.
It's heavy.
I can't get a good grip on it. I don't know how else I would do this without this forklift. Let me see. Try to get behind it. I need one more person. Now. Man, I'm probably gonna have to come at it. There's nowhere to grip this daggone thing. Oh boy. Okay. Put it about right where these. Don't let that smash your fingers. Try to line up best I can here. All right. I hooked my little mini pad up. Of course, my other keyboard works too. What we'll do is, I'm gonna take this off, get our light on. I might have to go back some more. I don't know, my limit is set. Let's see. No, maybe not. That's it. Yeah, we gotta go back a little more. Just a little. So what we'll do is, we'll set this. I forget how to do this. I think it's tab. There we go. To make it on a slower. Okay. What I'm doing is watching this lower line. Actually, that's the end of our limit there. So we need to go a hair over this way too. That's gonna be fun. What we'll do is we'll start with our most this way, this area, cut that way, and bring the metal towards us to get the most out of it. Okay, that's about at the bottom. So let's watch the bottom here and make sure the laser stays pretty even all the way across. Okay, so that needs to go up that corner a little bit. Started walking just a hair. Let's watch that. I think I went too much. Okay, right there. This is nice because you can watch it and see. That way we can utilize our metal all the way. Now what I'll do is try it this way, just to see how square our metal is. It's going right down that line. There's like a line in this thing. Okay, we're at our limit there. So what I'm gonna do is zero to this corner right there. And what we'll do, we'll zero it right there. So now we're zeroed there. Every time it'll come back to this corner. Put my, that's about good. Okay. All right, let me get the program open, get our layout down, and get it ready to cut, and I'll bring you back in a few. Okay, this is the first I've used this machine since I fixed all that and cleaned all the crap off. Fingers crossed that there's nothing wrong. I didn't test it on anything else, so we're going for it. And here we go. They're dropping.
Like poop.
These are old consumables in this, so. This is going to be so sweet, you guys. All right, you guys, it looks like it done very, very well. Over here, I don't know if you heard it made a different sound. I thought it wasn't cutting again, but if you look, let me zoom out of this thing. If you look, it's cutting along the slat. So when it cuts beside it or on it or whatever, it's going to change the sound of it. But we're all the way through everywhere. Yeah, we're all the way through everywhere. Yeah, but there's the first piece, man. Heck yeah. Let me get it out of here, and I'm gonna take it over to the our welding table over there, and we'll scoot the metal back down this way and cut our other side out. Give me a few. Yeah, I got it all lined up and it started my first cut, which was one of these. I think it was this one. And it didn't cut through. I was like, oh man, what's wrong? I forgot to put my ground on. Dumb.
You're the dummy.
Anyways, let me show you real quick how easy this comes out. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around and cut some of this stuff off and try to utilize our pieces. I'm gonna try to get our mounting piece out of this over here. Hopefully our two strips on the inside, down this side. So we'll see here in a minute. It just comes right out of there. Boy, that's gonna be a beast. I'll tell you the story. Give me a second. So during COVID, I think I've already said this in one of my videos, but I'll say it again. During COVID, everything just went super slow because this is all we used to do is work out of the shop here. And COVID just kind of messed everything up for everybody. You know what I mean? Not just me. Anyways, I had a bunch of stuff in the shop that killed me to have to get rid of, but one of the things was a bead roller. It wasn't this big. It was only a 24 total, so the total throat depth was, I forget what it was, but probably to here. I don't know, somewhere in here maybe. But anyhow, I had to sell that. I got it through, where did I get that one at? I think it was a Mittler brother. It was nice. It had all kind of dies with it. It was on a roller. It was power unit. I built a table for it, which we're going to do with this one. A table, for those that don't know, is it'll flip up and we'll be able to lay sheet metal on it. It's not real big, but it's enough to give you a nice ledge there. So, but it had the table, all that. I had to sell that. I had to sell my, I had a nice English wheel, 2 planishing hammers, real nice ones. One was from Bailey's. Quite a bit of stuff there, man. I had to get rid of. Another tubing bender. It was pretty nice. It was a manual one, but I got that big Rogue Fabrication one that I ain't going to sell. Anyways, I had to get rid of all my stuff just to pay who was working here with me at the time for hopefully a couple more weeks, hoping something was going to come through, and it never did. And then eventually I had to just go get this job that I got now. But it is what it is. You know, we have to sacrifice. It's how it goes. So, but now we're building a bigger, better, and a badder. Bigger, better, badder. So I'm glad you guys are going to get to watch it, watch this while we do this and watch how this thing turns out. And by the way, I really love that textured powder on that vise. We're going to do the same thing on this here, but it's going to be a blue, I think. But we're going to go ahead and do it the same way. We're going to use the texture powder on it, prime it, do the texture powder. It just lasts longer, and that stuff has a chemical resistant value in it, higher than the normal powder for stuff like this, like for shop use stuff. And so it makes sense. Plus it looks nice, and it covers up areas that if you happen to miss a little bit. But anyways, I'm going to cut these off real quick, and I'm going to try to go ahead and cut out a couple of the little plates while I got this up here, and then we'll be back over at the welding table there. All right, so far here's the scrap that I got right there. These are some pieces I can use, most definitely. And here's the leftover of the sheet. I still have a whole nother sheet like this one was in the paint booth that Doug over at Pickway Fab and Machine sponsored to the shop. Great guy, man, I'm telling you. He's helped me through so much of this stuff. The vise build, a lot of the chair build, this build here. I mean, he's just very generous and nice guy, man. But anyways, here's our stuff. I'm going to, these, I forgot, I'm sorry. I hope these are the correct size. I think they are because he made these for his casters, but they should have the same bolt pattern. So we'll check that. That's the bracket for the top for our, we're going to make a handle for that like we did for the vise, like the aluminum one we made. Maybe a little bit bigger one. I got another piece of the leftover of that aluminum that we got. We'll make another sweet one. And we'll get to use that little key again to make our groove inside for that piece to go in there. This here is a mount for his motor that he bought from Eastwood. I didn't think about it. I cut this a little too soon, so this might be a waste. This is one of our pieces that goes inside, or like that. I think I got a couple more of these. I think I got to look at the layout. But other than that, I'm going to go make a piece for, and I'm going to look on his website. He may have this one, the one that breaks and does this. I got to look. I think he does. If he does, I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over to this computer, into the Fusion, and I can come back over here and cut it. So I'm going to do that real quick and double check on our caster plates. And I'm going to check this to our winch motor to see if it has the same bolt pattern. We may get lucky, who knows. If not, oh well, it's not like I ain't wasted stuff before. So, and then we'll make the correct one for that. Other than that, the outside part, I'm going to get a piece of 2-inch strap from Doug over there. I may have some. I'm not sure what this is up here. I think I got some 1.5 and 2-inch up here on the, I got to measure these, but I think I got some shorter pieces up there that are like of some actual 2-inch. This is probably 1.5, I'd say. But I know I had a bunch of those left. It's either there or back there in the steel pile that I got back in the back there where my brake is. So I'll check all that. If not, I'm gonna have to go down and get a couple pieces from him. And then what we'll do is we'll just we'll start it when this is all welded. These two are welded together. We'll start it up front and we'll tack it every so often till we get to the parts where they need bent. We'll bend them in, tack, tack, tack. We'll start bending that. We'll probably heat it a little bit and tack it as we're going around our turns. And because I want to enclose the whole outside of it and make it, we'll clean it, we'll grind it, we'll smooth it out if we have to at JB Weld like we did on the vise. Same with these. After we weld all these up, grind them, clean them. If we have to swipe that with JB Weld on both sides, we will. We'll sand it. I want that to be smooth, this whole thing to be smooth when it's done. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to show you. I cannot wait. This is going to be super sweet. It really is. I miss my bead roller. There's things I've been wanting to, that I've had to make for the just certain projects and things, and can't do it, because it was gone. But this baby ain't going nowhere. This is staying with me just like that pipe bender is. If I have to, my pipe bender, my plasma machine, both of my big machines, this one and my lathe, and a couple of little tools I won't sell. That's just what's going to happen there. I'll be broke and not have no money before I have to sell this stuff again. Any of my stuff in here. These are my. I've worked hard and long to get this stuff. You know what I mean? And then I'm selling it and giving it away. I got to put it on for sale for cheap. So like I said, now I got to give it away. You know what I mean? It's terrible. I don't even want to think about it. But anyways, I wanted to show you where we was. I'll bring you back when I'm closer and to see if I got that bracket for that the mount part of it. So I'll be back shortly. All right, you guys, let me kind of show you where we're at with it. So I went ahead and cut out, instead of going over to Doug's and getting a 2-inch strap that I was talking about to go around it, I just cut some. I cut 4 at, I think it was 36.5 or 37.5 inches, and then just one small one. That should be plenty. And then I'll just weld them and grind them, and I'll just weld them and grind them where where they butt up. It's too bad this one didn't stop here, because that would have been an okay weld there. So I still got to cut one more caster plate, so I may recut this to be perfect around that. And I'll measure and see what we have from here to there, and then we'll make a small one for down here. We'll figure it out if I have to change it. But there it is, just kind of sitting together. I've got you can see them. I got the magnets in there holding the center supports up. And I got our plates in too, our front and rear plates. This is what holds our brass. This is what holds our brass. We're getting ready to drill these out and put the bushings in them. So those are done. Here, these are the front two. So a long time ago, Doug gave me a piece of, I believe it was a little over 2-inch by, I think he gave me a 18-inch piece by 1 inch thick, but we only needed them to be 3/4. So I machined them down to 3/4, and then they're all 1x2s, or I'm sorry, these are 2x2s, and this one's got to be a 2x4. So I got to cut off a piece of that and clean up the end of it. Unless I decided to keep it all the same, or this big, and then just put our bushings where they need to be at. I may do that. That way we don't have to cut anything off, because it ain't gonna hurt anything. And then I can maybe start my plating, for the outer edge from those 2 points. So I'll figure that out before we do it. But I'm gonna get set back up over here on the mill, and then I'm gonna get set back up over here on the mill. That way we can get all this stuff, all the machining done anyways. And so all we'll have to do is start welding it together. You know what I mean? And be done with it. Not make this and what I was telling you guys about that little engine stand I got a piece of 2x2 down here, and then a 2x3 piece there. If I have enough down there, I may just redo it all out of new, because that thing's, the walls are kind of thin on that stand. I may use a little bit of it. I don't know yet. And if not, I got a bunch of stuff I'm getting ready to take to the for scrap, and then I'll just put it in with that and haul it off for weight. So I'll check this, see if I got enough. If not, I can even maybe run down to Doug's and get another piece of whatever I need to finish that, because I know I got most of it. So let me get everything set up here. I'm waiting on a tool. It's to cut a T-slot. The way we're going to do this is, this part of the bead roller, there's a knob on the top that will be winding to make it go up and down for our, to tighten it against the sheet metal and unloosen it. Well, some guys, like if you watch on Make It Customs, if you watch his, he took a bolt, put it on top, and drilled a hole in a DOM tube with a bevel where it kind of just churned in there after he welded it to it, but it still spun in it. And then he put it up through the bead roller, and up here he welded a nut, and then on that thread he could take it and you know, wind it up and down. He welded this arm right here. He welded this arm on top of that thread. So he welded that to that thread, and the thread turned freely. There's a knob on this end, and then you just crank it up and down. You can do it that way, which is the easiest way to do it if you don't have any kind of machining. So if you watch his video, if you decide you want to make something like this, if you watch his video on that, you'll see how he done that. Very simple. Here's some Irwin. These are the Irwins. And I'd say you take the 3/4 one or one, that's probably about the size of that taper on that bolt head, and just take that down in there and, you know, do your, taper that out, make your bolt sit up in there nice and flush, and even past flush. So when you weld it down to the top of your block, the whole bolt churns inside of it. So you'll see if you watch his video, but that is the simplest way to do it. What I'm gonna do is, I like to be complicated. I'm gonna take and make a T-slot in the top of this, and then I'm gonna machine a thing that's gonna slide in that T-slot, and our thread will be in that, and that'll raise this up and down. So that'll be free in there. But yeah, I'm gonna machine a T-slot in this, and that'll go right through it. So this will have nothing welded to it. So let me set things up here, get our brass bushings, and I'll bring you guys back when we're, I got it all set up so we can get all those machined into those blocks. Give me a few. All right, I got this set up to drill a series of holes with the bits first. And I already did my, my starter hole. And then we'll put our boring head back on it and bore it out. Now I've already done one, and I almost messed it up. Let me show you. What I mean by that is, it's okay. I can still make it work. Look how easy it goes in it. It's the same as the hole. I calculated it wrong.
You messed up.
So what I'm gonna have to do is get some of the green Loctite, put it around that, push it back in there and let it dry. The green Loctite will dry like concrete. So luckily, you know, they make something like that. Other than that, we're good to go with this one. Yeah, I don't know how I was just, this has little dials on it right here. It's got little dials on it. And I moved it, so I'd say that's 10 thousandths, 15, 20 thousandths, I think. So what I done was I moved it 20 thousandths one time, and it read 20 thousandths of shave off on my dial there. So I needed to go another 30, I thought it was, or 35. So I said, you know what? I'll go 30 and sneak up on it. So we have 5 left. Well, I went 30 and I checked it, and it ended up being like 40 or 45. So this it's probably not a really good one. So I need to probably just keep doing 2 at a time, and then 1 notch at a time when I get close, or else I'm going to do the same thing again. Yeah. Oh, of course, I got this loose right now. I was going to say, man, it's even loose. Yeah, I got them loose because I just did it. So anyways, let me start here. We'll drill a couple holes. Bit ain't the sharpest. You got to keep her oiled. It does work, just not the sharpest. It's throwing off good chips. It's just not cutting as easy as it should. It's getting a little dull, but it is cutting. Probably hot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drill the rest of these out. The two more sizes here. I'll change the head over to the boring head, and then I'll bring you back when I'm starting on that. Give me just a few. All right, I got it changed over. I'm gonna just kind of try to do a clean pass on it. Oh, you know what? What's going on with this? That don't even look right. Something happened, because that's not even churning. What do we got going on here? Let me see what I did here. Be right back. All right, what I done was I didn't come back to my 0 on my X axis. Now look, now it's cutting. Now it'll go what it needs to do. Let me get my glasses back on. I've been keeping the WD-40 on. I got my feed set to come up slow. I'm gonna go ahead and get it to where it's, you know, close to the end, and I'll bring you guys back. Hopefully I don't goof up again. So give me a little bit. Sorry guys, I realized the light was in the way the other way. I've got it somewhat close. Let's see what we can do here. Each time it seems like it's different, so I hope it's, we'll see here. Usually that goes through. Okay, what I've been doing, get that back to where I can see it right there. Let's test it. It was at 168, and I went 3 more clicks, which would be, I think, 30, 1109. So yeah, that gave us 40. 50, no, 40. So we need to be at 12, 1258. So we got quite a bit more ways to go, guys. Let me bring you back. I thought I was closer. Okay, we're at 1206 on here. 1206, 1202, and we got to be at 1254. Normally, I've been moving it 3 notches at a time, which I would think would be 30 thousandths. I only went 1 this time. So 1206, I think is what I got. I got 1202 that time, but let's see what it does. 1 click to 1208. So let's try 1 click. That's what I should have done the last time instead of going 2 or 3. But watching the numbers before, that's what it was giving me. Okay, let's see what it done. 1222. 1253 is the thing. So that took it. It was 1208. What did we say? 1222. Yeah, 1223. So it took it 14 thousandths. So I'll go 1 more click and see what that does. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to green all these in, but that one fits like just snug. So this thing is just a little. I'm going right before, according to this, 10 thousandths, right before it. Let's see what that does. I'll bring you right back. Okay, I took it 2 more since then. 3, I'm sorry. 1245. Now it's going 10 thousandths at a time. So that's 1252, 1245. Check it over here. Just to be 1245. Okay, so let's do this. Oh man, these cheap tools are unpredictable. Man, I tell you, I just can't afford the real good ones. But let's go half of that. See where that takes us. So that should be 5 thousandths. We should be at 1250. And this is 1253, right? Is that what we said? 1255. So this should put us at 1250. It should. So give me a few. I'll bring you right back. All right, moment of truth. Oh, 1255. See? This thing is so unpredictable.
So unpredictable?
And that's 1240. Let me see something here. See, that might be the problem. Nah, this is going to need greened in too. I mean, it's a tight fit, but damn. That little tiny bit, man. So I need to go 1 click at a time. This thing is that finicky, or just doesn't know for sure. But same thing. It's a snug fit. But like I said, we'll clean it real good, and we'll put the green Loctite in it. And I've done that with boat races and stuff like that, because those get ate up. The aluminum gets ate up, and it's real pitted. But I've loaded it with that stuff and put that in there, and you can literally let that stuff dry overnight, like put it around it and sand it, and it'll give you. It's kind of like JB Weld. The green stuff is. It really is. But it'll allow us to, if we have to one day, press these back out to put new ones in it. It won't do like JB Weld, but it'll hold it like JB Weld. Put it that way. But there's the other one. I know it's a mess, big time mess. So I'm gonna get the this one. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one done, and then I'll bring you guys back when all that's done, because it takes a while. I mean, I bet I got over an hour and a half, close to an hour and 45 minutes just doing them 2 little ones. So, and this place is a mess again. I just cleaned it. That's one thing, like I said before, I love working on these machines, but man, do you have to clean up big time. I mean, there's especially, I was saying aluminum's real bad, but this here, I'll show you the ground before I clean it, not right now, but all right, let me get this done, I'll bring you back. Okay, I got this centered up here. I did it with the centering tool. I got my bit for the T-slot. So what we'll do first is we're gonna machine a slot in it with this, and then essentially we'll go back through it, and that'll make our, lower slot. I'm probably gonna come up one more than that and make it a little thicker. So let's touch off real quick. A little more than I wanted. All right, I'm gonna try to go speed this up a little bit. Let's take off just a little bit at a time just to see how it acts. Because I don't know if I should go, let's try it in too, see if it's better this way. Some ways it's better to go, I'm not a good machinist to know all this stuff, but yeah, I think it likes it better this way. I think. Let's try it again. And I'm not taking a lot off at a time, and I'm going slow because that block is up. What I probably should do is lower it some. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, guys, after this cut. And then I'm also going to cut my WD-40 on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get some lower plates so I can drop it down in there, give me a little more rigidity. Yeah, a lot nicer, guys, with the WD-40 spraying and the dropping it down in there more. Now I've already zeroed how far I want to go down. I put my my brass fitting in there, and I set it in a vise. and I brought the bit down to where it's just above it, and then I zeroed my machine out. If you're asking yourself how I know how far down to go, yeah, it's so much better. Let me get it down to our final destination. I'll bring you back. All right, guys, here's where I really don't know whether to come in from the back or the front. I'm going to cut it on and try to go super slow just to see how it cuts this way. And then maybe we'll do the same for the back, because it's dangerous. You know, you can break a bit or something go wrong on you. So let's just cut it on and go super slow. But I got it all in there and it's tight. And what I've done, yeah, okay, there we go. Let me try, I'm gonna bring it in real slow. Let me see if there's a, yeah, this is all in Chinese, so I don't even know what speed they want you to have it on. It's a cheaper bit, so you know what I mean? Let's do it real slow. See how it cuts. Seems like it's cutting all right, but I am going slow. Problem is when we get inside the middle of it, something moves in that thing. Make sure everything's tight. Oh crap. I really need that WD-40. I'm just wondering how it would cut coming in from the backside. I know that you guys that are machinists are probably saying, go in the other way, or however it's supposed to be. It seems like it's cut. I don't feel it like vibrating the machine or anything abnormal. I'm trying to think of it's cutting in it, but I just don't know. Let me try to research real quick. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I can't really find much because I'm trying to be in a hurry, but I tried cutting it from the back. This way does feel and seem better. The other way felt like it was not going to be good, so I stopped. Yeah, this feels smooth this way. So if something happens this way, it's going to happen regardless. I'm just going super slow. I cranked up the WD-40, trying to get this thing. That might be better there. We're getting our T-slot in there. And I don't know if you're supposed to just go fast, or not fast, but like just drive it through at a decent pace. I'm just going super slow. Just being careful, you know what I mean? I don't want everything's making me jumpy. Even that little sound just did. I mean, but it feels super smooth. So, I don't know. We're already in it now. I got to get me a longer hose for every time I clean it and blow it off, it seems like it cuts nicer. And you let a little bit more WD-40 get on it. Seems pretty cool though. This is a tool I've never used before, so that's why I'm not sure. But we're learning. I figured, keep it lubricated, go slow, try both ways, feel what feels better. That's exactly what I've done. Just being precautious. And this is just a cheap bit. I don't even think it's less than $20. They got ones that are, much more expensive. If it cuts this one time, I'll be happy. But it seems like it's not any less sharp than it was when I started. That's why I wanted to keep it lubricated so I can use it again. Had good reviews. We're close to halfway through it now. It feels more rigid now. What sucks now is getting that WD-40 in there. I need to let it get some on it right here and go with it. Yeah, it feels a lot like I'm almost done. I know I'm not, but yeah, I think we are about through. Yeah, we're already coming out of the back, guys. Matter of fact, let me do this now. Yeah, it's just going through like butter now. There it is. Now the only thing I need to try to see if I want to go, this is something I got to decide on here. Do I want to go a little thicker or leave it like that? That's probably about a couple millimeters. I guess I could go up just a hair more. I don't want to go any further down because I stopped it where I told you guys I zeroed it out for my my bushing, because it's probably about right on that line that where we just started cutting, and I left it -2 mil, so when I dropped that blade down it would have been to the 0, and that's exactly where it's at. Now if I go up any higher, it'll be nothing to worry about anyways. But yeah, I'm wondering if I should go up just a hair more just to make it a little thicker, because it's probably okay. Let me go up just a tiny bit. I'll bring you right back. Man, it's got a nice cut in there though. It really does. I'll show you guys up close when I'm done. It's going through like butter now. Of course it would, because all we're doing is just shaving off of a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm just going through it like nothing. Okay. Yeah, that's probably perfect. I just wanted to give it a little bit more of an area for that thing to slide. Just cleaning it up real good. Okay. Boy, that's a messy one though.
What a mess.
It's got shavings everywhere. Yeah, if you guys notice, I had a blue thing there with little LEDs underneath it. when I was drilling these out with the drill bits, the coil come up and grabbed it and ripped that whole thing out of there. It's right here. I got to make a new one. I mean, it tore it up. Look at this. It just ripped it right out of there. It broke the arm off that held it up to the side and tore my my wire up. So I have to redo all that stuff. I might do it different. I might try to do something where they're kind of like beaming down, like maybe some LEDs that shoot down on the area, like single ones around it. I'm not sure. I'm going to kind of see what works out best, because that right there is the first time that ever happened to me, but it's not going to be the last if it happened, you know. Let me show you this real quick. Let me zoom out a little bit because that's going to make it blurry. But there it is, you guys. There's our T-slot. So now we'll machine, I don't want to put my finger in there because it's going to start making it blurry. We'll machine well, let me do it this way. We'll machine a thing like I told you guys. It'll have that slot. It'll look just like that, like a T. This is kind of like what it is right there, but it'll only be, you know, just the width of that, which is kind of close. And then this, instead of a female, it'll have a male thread in it. We'll leave a stud on it, which will come out of the top of the unit, and then that's going to work that up and down. So this is one way to do it compared to, you know, what he's got going on. There's nothing wrong with either way of this. I need to clean that with the file a little bit. Let me zoom out so I can show you guys. That's what's in there. Just a little tiny bit above that of the bushing, and that'll work out good. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool. Let me put it in here so you get to see what it looks like. Maybe get a better understanding. Yeah, I don't know why it's not auto-focusing. Why is it not auto-focusing? Oh, it's on auto. Anyways, okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Our T-slot will be in there. The thread will go up, and when we wind it, that'll pull that up and down to open this jaw and close it with our dies in it. Versus if you go watch Carl's, like I told you, if you go watch Carl's, by the way, I did put one of my things in here. And these are from McMaster Car too. The cold rolled. I think these are cold rolled. Or one of them, the hot rolled way is they don't have nothing on it. One of the ways doesn't have the scaling and vice versa. Here's that bolt, guys. Here's what he uses. And what he'll take is a round DOM, you know, tube with that size of hole in it. He'll taper the end of it, so when that goes up in there, it fits flush in it. And then once he welds that down onto here, that whole unit he just made, and it's only about that thick, like about less than a ½ inch, he'll weld it down on there to the block, and this will still spin inside of it. And then when that goes through our top, this thing up top here will get welded. He welds that to that bolt. So now that whole thing churns, and then there's a nut welded on top of this plate up here. So that's where your threads are, up here. He welds a nut up there. And then when you wind it, pulls it up, pulls it down. And that's an easy way to do it if you don't have a mill or something like that to make all this T-slots and crap with like this. I just kind of was thinking about this idea here because it'll all be kind of working, you know, a little bit more freer, you know. So when I machine that piece for in here, I'll make it to where it's not super tight, but just a little bit of a clearance. So when it goes up and down, everything has a little bit of movement to it. Yep, that's how that's going to be. So I was trying to get all the machining done on this video here, and then I'm going to come right back with the other one where we start to weld, put the cart together, put this whole thing together, and then the last video will probably be powder coating everything and putting the motor and stuff on, because I got to make a panel and everything for them couple little units to fit in like a little box. Kind of like on my, let me see if you can see that. Kind of like the boxes I made on the back of that thing down there. That thing right back there, and this one up here for my mill. It ain't gonna be that big, but you get what I'm saying. It'll be a smaller one. And the components will fit inside there, and we'll mount it to the side of the, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll try to incorporate it somehow into it, because I'm gonna make some little things down on the legs too for where we can put our dies on and kind of sturdy it up some. So, but let me see where we're at with this, how much time's on this video so far, if I'm going to go any further on it, or if this is where this one's going to end, and we'll bring the other one right back, you know, where we start to weld and put this thing together. So let me check the timing and everything on this, and I'll be back to you shortly. All right, guys, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, why can't I just machine that down a little bit on this bolt to where it'll slip on that? So I did it a little bit, and it's going to work. So I think it will. It's a pretty strong bolt. Let me get my glasses. I'm just going a little bit at a time. Thing is so touchy, and I got that zeroed, so when it gets to the bottom of it, I stop just before it, and then I'll clean it after we're done. We'll try it again after this one. I want it to fit it good. I mean, I guess I could measure it, but that'd be too easy, right? Okay, see where we're at, and then we'll clean it all up when we get it fitting. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Oh, look at that, man. That is perfect. And it's just the right amount, what I had in my mind as far as a little bit of play. That's gonna be sweet, you guys. I don't even know why I didn't think about that. I am gonna take the head of that down just a touch, because I think am I outside of it? I can't tell. Let me get that, yeah, just a tiny bit. Which, it's really not gonna hurt nothing, but we'll flatten it out just to make it look a little better. Let's, let me get a different bit on here. Yeah, and then I can polish that up with a little bit of emery. Yeah, this worked out great. Let's see, which one do I want? I'll just clean it with the straight one. That might do it. I just want to knock it down a little bit. How sweet, man. How sweet is that? I mean, that's probably it, guys. Yeah, okay. I'm going to clean that up with a little bit of emery. We just saved ourselves a ton of time, because I was going to make all that out of a piece of round rod and thread the top and everything. So look at that. I mean, that just made that a big time. So let me clean that up and I'll bring you back over there. All right, that's it, you guys. Check that out, man. I mean, that is super nice.
Super duper. That's nice.
That just saves so much time. I don't know why I think of that in the first place, but that's like perfect tolerance. It's just barely, that way it can move in there always. You know, it's not, you know, it's not sloppy or nothing. It's going to do its job. So, you know, essentially to be like that. We'll have our plate up top, which will have the nut welded to the top there. Or what I might do is make it out of like DOM and thread that. I think it just looks better than a nut. And we'll thread that into it. And then we'll put our arm on there, weld that to the nut, make a sweet handle for that. And then as we crank it that way, it'll go up. Crank it the other way, it'll go down. That's going to be super nice, just like that. And this plate goes on the back side in here. Our other pipe, or tube, what do you want to call that? I'll get in there. So that'll sit against it. So when I weld that, this will be welded to the inside of there. So that'll just slide up and down. It'll go that far right there. That'll be our opening. And then down. Yep, right about there is the highest it'll go. Yep, just like that. Open, close. And that's plenty. This is probably gonna handle probably up to 16 gauge metal, so that's not even. That right there is gonna be probably, well, 16, over 3/16 of a gap opening where the dies are. This won't bead roll nothing that thick. I don't even think there's a bead roller that will, without being a power hammer type. But yeah, that's it. I have to winterize my boat today, and then I want to finish this video. I just wanted to see how that. Oh yeah, so that stops there. That's going to be nice. When that's against it, this also stops there, and once that's up in that DOM, you know what I mean? It's never going to come this way. Yeah, that's going to be cool. And then there's a lock collar that goes on the outside around this, against this, to keep that bar from going back and forth. And back there, these gears will go on it. And I'm thinking I'm going to drill it and put set screws in these and mill a couple of flats in the back of the bar. So when we do tighten those down, it'll go into the flat part. We'll see how that goes. But in his video, he explains that and I did the same thing he did. I just went off of what he put in the description, but these are the smaller. These are like 3/4 7/8. So I'm gonna have to bore that out to 1 inch to fit our pipe back there. So, but that's that, guys. And matter of fact, I may set that up and machine this in this video real quick, just so you guys can see how I'm gonna do that. And then we'll finish this video there. And then I'll start making where we put it, weld it and put it together. All right, real quick, you guys, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to bore it out. This is at around 7/8 right now. We need to go to 1 inch. So, let me see. I'm only going small amounts at a time. I don't want to, let's see if I can handle. I've been going, let's try this. Woo! Wrong place, buddy. We'll clean that up at the end. Let me just see how much that took off. Okay. So let me go, now we're going to slow it down. I'm going to go 350, and then I'm going to slow the machine down and make some cleaner passes. The feed, I'm going to slow the feed down. I got to get behind this, guys. It is burning me up. Woo! Man, that is no joke. Let's double check this. Sorry if I'm bumping that camera. Yeah, it's exactly. All right, so let's go one more 100, 0, and then 100. And I'm also going to start slowing this feed down. I think I had it on, let me test this. I think I had that on D. Nope, that's not right. Put that back. Let's try B. Okay, that's it. Yeah, much cleaner. Yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm gonna go ahead and get this down to 1, and I'll bring you back, because I gotta stand behind this. I'm getting burned up.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire!
think we're getting close, guys. I got everything bound up over here because of this camera. Okay, let's give us a little chamfer. I'm gonna have to change that around. All right, well, I'll do it with my little tool, so we ain't gotta worry about that. Let's go see how it fits over here, guys. I'm gonna clean this side up too. I need to change my bit on this. There we go, there's a cleaner one. Nice, nice, you guys. So, like I said, we'll put a set screw with a flat on that side, and then we'll, that's how we'll tighten it down. Like he did it, he welded it to it. He drilled a thing and he welded it around it and put a plug in it and welded it. This is gonna go on that side anyways. Yeah, this goes down here. So yeah, like I said, he did that, but what we'll do is, I think I'm gonna do set screws. That way we can take it off easier. Even though if we took our lock collar off the front, the locking thing I was telling you guys about, and then slid everything out this way, if we had to take it apart, we could do that too. If I wanted to weld this to this. So, I don't know, let's put it together and we'll decide that after, you know, see how it's fitting and the meshing and all that stuff of the gears, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna finish that, guys. Hang on. All right, real quick, guys, I just wanted you to see this all together. Here's how that's gonna work. Basically, up and down in that bracket, but that bracket's moving. But it goes up quite a bit. And then, let me show you our back here. Those are meshing real good. Yeah, they're just real smooth. Of course, we'll grease them up and stuff. But the way I did that was on this block, I put them two gears, I meshed them together and I set them down on the block and I centered them up where I wanted them. And then I drew my circle inside on the block and then I center punched it. Well, I made a line where the center was going to be at and then I punched it. And then that got me right where we're at now. So, and they're real good. But I wanted you to see that real quick on this one, just to show you guys. I'm going to make this the end of this video right here. Like I said, I'll come right back behind it with the welding, the putting it together, making the stand, all that stuff. You know, that's going to be pertaining in the welding part of it. Thank you guys so much for everything. The numbers are going up. We're getting there. So please keep doing what you're doing. It's really helping me out. See you real soon on the next one. Thanks again.